Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my review of the book, The Help, by Kathryn Stockett. This is her one and only book to her name. I was very surprised when I was after this book, after I read it, I was looking up to see what other books she had written that I could read since I enjoyed it so much, and she doesn't have any other novels. This is literally it. And I was very surprised, and I looked at a couple of different websites, and I couldn't find anything else, so I believe this is literally her entire bibliography. And this book has sold millions and millions of copies, and of course was turned into the hit movie with Emma Stone and Bryce Dallas Howard and Viola Davis and Octavia Spencer and a bunch of other actresses. And so I had watched the movie before, and I really enjoyed it. And I had seen the book for really cheap at my local bookstore, and I've been trying to branch out into other genres. And I just realized I am wearing a yellow shirt while presenting a yellow book. That has got to be terrible aesthetics. I'm going to be in trouble for that. Anyway, probably book washes me out. Anyway, the book is set in the 1960s during all the civil rights movement stuff, and it is primarily focused on the African American women who generally work as maids in households of wealthy white women at the time. And so you're following them as some of them, particularly Abeline and Minnie, who are two of these maids, but you're also following the woman Skeeter, who is a aspiring writer, who is, in the movie she's played by Emma Stone, and then you're also, you don't follow her point of view, but she's in like so many other chapters, and it's Miss Hilly Holbrook, and she is just evil, and she is a perfect villain because of how evil she is, and I really enjoyed this book from beginning to end. I'm trying to get into new genres, trying to branch out into new things. I like, the legal thrillers that deal with racism that John Grisham does, and so I was like, this looks like it might be up my alley, and it absolutely was. And there's some language and some deep dark themes that this book also deals with, but I also think that it's still very much worth it. If you're someone who's seen the movie, well, you really will understand the story, because this is one of the most faithful movie adaptations I think I've ever seen. When you look at the actual granular dialogue in the movie, I think like 90% of the movie's actual dialogue is straight from the book. Now, the movie kind of changes the events of some things and pushes some things up, pushing some things back, but the general dialogue and story of the movie is like just beat for beat like the book, particularly with like the actual lines the characters say. Like there were times where I was like, that exact line, I remember that from the movie. That exact line is from the movie. And so that was quite a lot of fun to see. Of course, this is a pretty decent length book. It's about 600 pages, and I think it could have been cut a little bit. I think some of the sequences were just a little bit overlong. So there were a few repetitive scenes that it was like, all right, we got the point, you can move on, which I can't be complaining too much because I read epic fantasy that's 1,000 pages with way smaller print size. So still, I thought it was very enjoyable. Excellent exploration of themes, great villain in this book, great other characters as well. You really feel for them. Oh, the Celia Foote, I really felt for her character. I felt really bad for her. I really empathized with her. And also her husband, Johnny. Poor Johnny. He's got a tough life ahead of him too. So I really enjoyed the characters in this book. All of them felt so real, especially because I think the movie did such a good job adapting it. So if you've read The Help, what did you think of the book? What did you think of the movie? Do you think that it's a good adaptation or not? And what do you think of Hilly Holbrook, who is probably my villain of the year so far? She is horrible in a good way. In a bad way. She's horrible in a bad way. So that is my review of The Help by Kathryn Stockett. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.